Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. I have Sasha with me in the studio today. I hope all of you are going to have a lovely weekend ahead and don't try to have too much fun tonight. What, Sasha?
Yeah.
Be a little judicious in your choices of evening entertainment. That being said, we always had this thing being thrown around everywhere: too big to fail, too big to fail. It got coined after the 2008 financial crisis: too big to fail, too big to fail. But we've seen these too big fail also to fail finally. Everything finally fails. If your economic thing is not prudent, your things are not sensible, the way you're dealing with money and finances and the way you're running your business is not sensible, eventually everything will go kaput. Speaking of that, WeWork. What's happening, Shashwat?
Yeah. WeWork is an organization for people who are not aware of it. It's supposed to have co-working spaces where people can come in and work together in a certain designated area, and offices can rent space from WeWork, and it's more flexible in its lending terms. So you may not have to lease a property in order for your office to function. It can be on a more flexible basis where you can book slots as and when you need it. So WeWork is a business model which has struck a chord with a lot of companies in the US and a lot of entrepreneurs in the US. A lot of startups use WeWork, which itself is a startup, WeWork. So coming to that, why is WeWork now in the news? Why are we talking about a company which seemingly has a business model which has a proof of concept, in the sense that we do see co-working spaces all over the country, not just in the US but also in India. If you look at Bangalore, there are designated co-working spaces which have started to pop up. But the reason is not much to do with the business model per se, but more to do with their leases which they've taken on. It's more to do with the commodity which they're leasing out to you, which is real estate, commercial real estate. So commercial real estate has been something which is teetering on the edge of collapse in the US. You've had commercial real estate loans suffer tremendously. One, because due to COVID and working from home and the WFH, work from home culture, which has been happening, you've seen a plummeting growth in the need for commercial real estate. And you also have a declining or a population which is not growing at the pace you want it to grow at. So it's very difficult for commercial real estate to see the sort of growth it did before. And this is, I'm talking about the US. But in India as well, to some extent now people have been brought back to work. But at least for the 2 years after COVID, it did seem quite on the fence. We didn't know which way it was going. So that being said, with the interest rate now above 5% again on treasury bills, what has happened in America is that your loans, which have floating rates, have gone up now, because obviously lenders are demanding more. Because their costs are going up, their interest rate spread is going down. Interest rate spread meaning the rate at which they're borrowing versus the rate they're getting on their lending. So their rate of borrowing is going up because depositors are demanding higher interest rates. So now lenders are saying, okay, if we have to pay depositors more, then you guys better pay us more for the loans we're lending you, as the money we're lending you as well. So what has happened in turn is that now, if you bought a property on a loan and now you're leasing it out, you are going to ask for a higher amount of money to be paid. But now, what WeWork has said is that this is too expensive. We're not able to pay what you guys are charging us. We want to negotiate lower prices, because WeWork used to work on a pretty rigid payment schedule, and payments were fixed at the start of the year and not changed much. But now WeWork seeks to change that because they're having financial trouble. And commercial real estate is not doing as well as it did before. So that's what's happening in the US. And an interesting story is that people are saying that WeWork is just controlling maybe 10% of commercial real estate spaces in the US. That's barely anything in Manhattan. WeWork is not indicative of the general market. But there's an interesting story going around about how a property worth $160 million, there was a loan taken on it for $60 million, and the borrower decided that it was not profitable to pay the borrowing cost and decided to let go of the property development and hand over the property to the bank, which loaned them the money to construct it. So they basically said, you keep the property. If you're able to develop it, you do what you can with it. We want nothing to do with it. So because the building costs have gone up, so construction costs have gone up. The borrowers basically, if my uncle is the bank and I'm the builder, I've basically looked at the invoice which the cement company is giving me, the woodwork company is giving me, the contract labor organization is giving me. I've looked at these bills and I've said, you know what? I'll turn over the property to you. Please, I don't want to engage in this anymore. And now the funny thing is, this property was worth $160 million on paper, and the loan he was giving me on that was just $60 million. So he should technically be very happy to take the property off my hands. But now he's stuck with a property which is supposedly worth $160 million, and now they've reappraised the property value to $100 million, which is still, the loan is only 60% of the property value. But now he's stuck with a piece of land which he doesn't know what to do with, and I got off easy. So that's basically what has happened in the US, and this is just one story out of many stories which are cropping up all over the US, and this is from Manhattan. So Manhattan is one of the most premium office spaces. If you have an office space in Manhattan, it's considered a very luxurious thing, and Manhattan is facing this. And if you guys want to read up more on it, you can look it up. It's going around and it's trending a lot, the story. But basically what this goes to show you is that it's not just WeWork, but the general commercial real estate market is not doing too good. But what is scary about this? What is scary about this is, if the commercial real estate market goes down, your economy might go into a deep recession. Because if now, let's suppose I start defaulting on my payments, and you are asking a higher interest rate from me, I'm not able to pay that money, and I start defaulting. Now he being the lender will have to take those losses onto his books. What will that mean? That will mean that he'll be less willing to lend more, which means that he won't, if there's another third guy coming to him saying, can I please have some money to buy a property, he'll say, screw you, I'm not going to give you any money. But what does that mean? That means the third guy can't take the money from him and pass the money back to me and make me pay him. So he's going to be waiting for me, and I'm going to be waiting for a third guy to come in. But the third guy can come in only if he's willing to lend to him. But he's not willing to lend to him because I'm not paying him.
Sounds like 2008 all over.
Yeah. So if this continues and this becomes a larger trend, what we'll end up seeing is there's a good chance that we might see a deep recession, at least in the commercial real estate sector. But residential real estate is a completely different ballgame. But if you look at commercial real estate, it's looking quite dangerous in the US.
And this is WeWork. In India, we have this wonderful thing called office happening.
Yeah.
An office is a similar thing like WeWork they're doing. It's been started by a guy called Anand Ramani, who got some 2015, 2016 he started. He got some VC backing, VC funding, around $90 million was pumped in by Chris Capital, Sequoia India, Link Investment, and some
all the big guys.
Yeah, capital. They pumped in $90 million into this guy. And one of the other people who pumped money into this is Rana Kapoor's daughter and her family. That his family is pumped in. Now the news is they want to exit. They're trying to get out of office. And the best part was they're supposed to go IPO this year, office. 2022, last year they announced office. Amit Ramani announced, I'm going to go do IPO.
The US put a spanner into that.
Yes, the US has thrown a spanner. Now Rana Kapoor and everybody want to exit out of office. They said they don't want to do co-sharing. And what they call A91 partners are weighing in the option of stepping inside to buy that
share.
If capitalization is corrected, they're saying, which basically sounds like if you sweeten the deal, we will give you some money.
But I think the problem is that if they want to step in and buy more, then they'll have to buy at that exorbitant value, because it's sort of, you're being choked by the neck. Because if you want to, even if you believe that it's of a lower valuation and then you buy it for that lower valuation, the company valuation sinks immediately.
Correct.
And if you do go into an IPO, then you definitely have to get a lower price for what you have in terms of the stake in which you already own in the company. So it's quite a tricky situation which they've got themselves into.
All this was in a different landscape pre-COVID. Post-COVID, after the tightening of the global economy and the interest rates going up, this kind of crazy spending is difficult. I don't know. And if the profitability of these companies, the office space sharing, if it's a small space, operated very small, yes, you can make a buck out of it. But if you're operating multiple buildings in multiple cities, in multiple locations.
Basically, it's a mom and pop thing.
Yeah, mom and pop, yeah, you can always make money off it. That's proof of concept in a small level.
Yeah.
We try and leverage it and make it into something huge across the country, across the world. I don't know. It becomes
Quite difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. And like you rightly said, you can't go around negotiating all your commercial properties all the time. And all these banks are sitting out on the lurch because everything looked very rosy. Like how the Rana Kapoor family felt very nice to lend the money. Now they want to exit. No one is willing to
Give them a route.
route to exit. And the IPO doesn't seem like it's going to happening. Rana Kapoor must have been sold them. Don't worry. Next year IPO is happening, madam. You will get 1 lakh share. You do what you want.
Yeah.
You exit the way you want. And
No exit route now.
Yeah. So and everyone's getting pinched with the raising interest rates.
Yeah.
So when you have bills to pay, you need to sell your investment. These are the kind of investments very hard to sell unless you're a
Yes.
limited company.
And that will transition us into the next video, which we're putting out tomorrow,
The Sunday video,
the Sunday video.
which is going to be even more interesting.
Yeah.
So do catch that one.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on Be Rich today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification icon. And we'll see you tomorrow with this interesting video.
Yeah. See you.
I told you that I will be in Riyadh on the 22nd of September. The event place was not fixed. The team has now decided the event. It's in the Holiday Inn Riyadh. Those who are in and around Riyadh and desirous of meeting me may contact the WhatsApp address below or the email. My team would get in touch with you.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.